Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining us. This is our first live stream of the history of fresh produce with Patrick Kelly and John Paap. I hope you guys enjoy it.
Good evening, everybody. Good evening, Patrick.
Hey, John, how we doing? How we doing, everybody?
It's an exciting night. First night of the history of fresh produce live stream.
The first ever. I mean, we could.
First ever. This is history.
The inaugural. I've been practicing that word all week long, just for John, everyone. Just so we're clear. Are you ready for this, man? Listen, I'm excited because the history of fresh produce is about to go down, everyone. Seriously.
It is. And we're very happy to have everybody here for all of your support over the last year. It's been an exciting new venture for Patrick and I to delve into this kind of history, which I don't think we hear much of, really, the history of produce. So thank you for joining in on the journey. Feel free to chat wherever you're streaming from, whether it be YouTube or LinkedIn or
Please.
all the other various platforms we're streaming to. I don't know how many, but there's a few of them out there. Let us know where you're listening from. We're always interested to hear where you are.
We've got a few people. We got a few on YouTube that no one's given us any comments yet. We've got about 15 people on live on LinkedIn, and then we've got let's see. Then we got 0 on Twitter. I appreciate you all not supporting Twitter. Okay, like I get it, everyone. But no, yeah, please drop in the comments where you're from, and we'll give you a shout out on screen for sure. Because we want to know. I mean, with everybody loving fresh produce and especially the history, that's one thing that John and I are starting to realize is there's a lot of people out there that are, we call them closet history buffs, right? Oh, here you go. We got Clint jumping in. We're going to give Clint a shout out right off the bat from Wilmington, North Carolina.
I've been there once.
Clint,
Have you been to Wilmington?
He is that's on LinkedIn as well, John. So that's a good one as well. So thanks, Clint. We appreciate you joining us. And honestly, like I said, this started from John and I just kind of having some ideas, and the podcast has been amazing, right? It just having fun and diving into the history of fresh produce, everyone. And we thought to ourselves, maybe we should do a live stream, right, John? We were like, let's get this going. Let's figure out, how we can be more visual with this, right? Mm-hmm. And I think that's what everybody asked for is, let's see what the history of fresh produce is about, right?
And engage with all the listeners, because we know we've gotten messages with questions or just comments about things that we're doing or suggestions on what they want to hear. So it's just a lot of fun to engage via this platform. And the idea is going into next year, and maybe I'm jumping a little ahead here, is to do more of these. So I think our intention, at least at this stage, is to do a monthly live stream where we'll dive into maybe more specifics of episodes that we cover, or just completely different subjects that we don't cover in any episode. So it's just another avenue for us to interact with you all and to explore more stories.
True that. Well, let's get a few more. We got Charles McCohen from Dallas, Texas, off of LinkedIn. Great to have you, Charles. And Charles was listen, I love that Charles tagged himself in the post. So listen, that's
pride.
That's how you do it, man. That is how you do it. And then we got my buddy Dustin Robinson, California sweet potatoes, dry veg, root veg, Fresno, California, baby. Shout out to our Bulldogs over there. Not sure if we won against Boise or Idaho the other day that I saw, but I very rarely follow my sports team. I just know when I see a Bulldog on stage, I know who it is sometimes, right? So let's see. We got Ross, the produce boss, coming in from Indianapolis, Indiana. I'm liking this so far. We've got
Look at this. See, we've covered all sections of the country, right?
we
We got
got it.
East, West,
We went
Middle.
from West
We're
to
good.
Midwest. We just don't have someone in the South besides me. But
Anyone outside of the United States,
I'm here
we
from
want to hear.
Tampa. I am here. Welcome everyone. Thank you so much. Again, the whole purpose of this is to have fun, enjoy produce. I love that Clint jumped in again, and Reddy, you're gonna love this one because Clint said it. But produce never sleeps.
No,
No, because it doesn't.
nor
And
does
hence
history.
it's
Nor does
8 o'clock at
history.
night while John and I are still up having fun, right? So let's see. What do we got, Sky? Ross said, from the windows to the walls. That's right, Ross. You know it, man. There's produce all over. Oh, man. Paul Orozco, man. Shout out to Paul, man. Visalia, California. I've known Paul for, geez, almost Paul, it's going on almost 20 years, man. If you think about it, we've known each other for a long time, man. Appreciate you joining. Shout out to Paul. Appreciate the Visalianites out there, wherever we call them. My kids were born in Visalia. I lived there for a while. My dad still lives there, so shout out to Visalia, California, as well. I love seeing people joining this and seeing what this is about. So, John, I say, let's get into this. Let's talk a little bit about what's happened and what's happening, right?
Yeah, I think that sounds like a good plan. So that's basically in our plan for this live stream. So like I touched on, we'll do more in-depth stories and histories going into next year. But this one was kind of get comfortable on the live stream event, interact with a bunch of you guys, and then, like Patrick said, we're gonna kind of talk about what has happened this past year, where we're going next year, and maybe even drop a little short history for you before the night is over. So yeah, 2023 was exciting. We did a lot of things. We really started off with tracing the origins of different products. So I believe our very first episode was because of you. We wanted your love for citrus, so we dived right into this history of citrus, which was quite an undertaking to do in one episode. We might have to come back to that one in the future. And
I agree with you. I think that citrus can be split up into like 5 to 10 different episodes, from California to Florida to Texas. I mean, think about like Arizona. I'm geeking out here, but like Arizona's crop is like completely gone, and it used to be a big part of California. I mean, California citrus, but just citrus in general. So I agree. I think we should definitely break it down. Hold on, quick shout out. I don't know who, a paired user, LinkedIn user, we don't know who, but they're from the Southeast. So shout out to our Southeast LinkedIn user who don't know who you are. I love it.
Listen,
and
then
then
good ground
we also have, I just said it, Phoenix, Arizona just joined. So we were just talking about Arizona. All right, John, keep going, or I'm going to keep going on forever. Okay.
Yeah, no. So we did some great initial episodes, getting our feet wet with all these things. And then we moved into some guests, right? We had some guests on in the first year. We had the author of the Food Explorer, which was a fascinating story, which prior to this journey, I don't think either of us knew that story about David Fairchild.
Oh, no way.
And what he did with essentially like the Indiana Jones of fresh produce, which I don't know, makes all of our jobs just not look very exciting. But we can relive it, by this platform, so it's okay. Who else do we have? We had I'll call him the tomato historian.
I was gonna say the tomato guy, Mr. Nightshade. Or
we had Bill, which was Bill Alexander, right? He I mean, we had him on for part 2 of the tomato history, which was also a fascinating episodes. And again, if you haven't heard of any of those episodes, search them. They're there. Next week coming out, we already recorded it, but next week we have another historian from Britain, Rebecca Earle, doing the politics of the potato. So you're hearing it first here. We haven't announced it yet, but it's coming out next Monday. And we already did it. Well, speaking of potatoes, we did an episode on the potatoes as well. But this is an example of us diving deeper into a very specific element of potatoes. So stay tuned for that one. That was a pretty interesting one too, I think.
Potatoes were the first vegetable to be grown in space. I mean, Ross
I've
had
heard
to let
that.
us know that, right? And then shout out, we got William who just joined on YouTube. Appreciate you, William. Hello, everyone. Hello to you, my friend. So thank you for joining us. And listen, we already have a question, but that's going to come later. We'll let you know. Anthony, stay tuned. We're coming out with Q&A right after we're done.
Yeah, we'll get to that one. And actually, if you listen to the episode, you probably would have found the answer. But
I'm just saying, you
we'll
know
touch
what?
on it.
While John's
That's okay.
talking,
That's
keep
okay.
going, John. I'm going to get the links. I'm going to post the links to the podcast in the chat. So if anybody's interested in joining our first episode, I'm going to go ahead and post that in the chat too, John, while we're talking about some of the other episodes.
Yeah, and then we had what else? We also did our first field trip, which was exciting as well. We went to Anaheim for the IFPA produce show, and we got to explore the fruit, well, the produce origins of the town, which funny enough was Anaheim was essentially founded because of produce. And so we got to go to the founder's house, which was the physical house that was built by the person that kind of organized the city of Anaheim. And we got to meet with the local historian there. And so that was also a lot of fun. And I think something that we probably want to do again next year. I know IFPA has a show every year, so I believe next year is in Atlanta, and I think Patrick and I are going to try to see what kind of history of produce we can find
I
in
was going to say trouble, but that's fine. Whatever.
trouble. They can go hand in hand. Why not? Why not? Why not?
You know me, man. I'm always trying to get myself into a little bit of trouble. I'm just saying. I mean, the history of fresh produce. I mean, listen, as I stood in Boston this year
That's right. Yeah.
and read, about the fleet, the Navy fleet that came in and delivered oranges and citrus and what happened. And don't even get me started on bananas because there was a lot too with the Navy, if you know what I mean, John. So, I mean, I always say you can find yourself in a little bit of trouble and a little bit of politics when it comes to food. Am I right?
Absolutely. That's the amazing thing about food. It's a uniting factor. I mean, we all have to eat, and produce is one of those things that has been around forever. It's not a processed food that was just made by man. So it has a long history and a lot of politics and cultural, and that's what makes the history of fresh produce so fascinating. It really
Right.
touches on many facets of humanity and our human history.
G jumped in. Now, Jihoon was our cameraman in Anaheim. G said, yes, that was amazing. G was behind the scenes with us as well during this. We got to see what was going on. And then don't forget, we also did have our other buddy, Ross Nelson, with us too,
Sure, yep.
that joined along. Obviously, Ross gave a shout out with Maddie. And look, Maddie's like, I just got to give Ross a shout out with all those fruits and vegetables. She knows what's up. Like she does, really does. So, no, I think I thought it was great. I mean, even just learning when I got to Anaheim, learning about the first house, learning about just how citrus encompassed the entire Anaheim area. Now, being from Orange, California, you putting this all together, John. I was born in Orange, California, my friend, and not many people know that. I grew up in San Diego, but yeah, my birth certificate, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it because right across the side it says City of Orange. I mean, you can't beat that. No wonder why. Hey, no wonder why they call me Little Citrus. I'm just saying, John. But we have our first international guest.
There we go.
There we go,
our
baby.
neighbors to the north.
Luciano, hi there. Nice to be here from Cambridge, Ontario, Canada. Shout out to our first international guest. We appreciate you jumping on. Thank you so much.
Always loved my friends in the north.
Always.
Canada has a lot of interesting history with fresh produce.
They do. You know what's funny is today was Travel the Globe Day at my daughter's daycare, and she started in Canada. Her classroom was Canada. So we made her this this shirt that just said Canada, eh? Right? And my father, obviously born and raised in Canada, my grandmother as well. So we loved it. We were like, what a coincidence. So thank you, Canada, for joining.
But yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think. So obviously, it was a trial. I would say a testing year to see what the reception would be, and obviously it's been well received. I would say, um, and so Patrick and I have obviously done this live stream to close out the 2023 year for the series, and then we're looking to roll out a lot more content for 2024.
A lot
It's
more.
not going to be sporadic per se, like it was this past year. We kind of got incorporated into the Monday show. We're going to have a dedicated day of the week for the series now. So every Tuesday. The idea is that there will be content every Tuesday. I can't promise it, but we are going to do our best to do that. All the episodes that we do, is heavily researched. It's not something that we're just going to some person's blog and reading from, if you will. So there is a lot of effort on both our parts to deliver to you meaningful content that has real receipts behind it, and it's something that we love to do. So it's been a lot of fun, and so every Tuesday next year, that's the plan. And I guess we can start talking about some of the episodes we have in mind already.
Yeah, for sure. Before we do, though, listen, I see a lot of people that are on here. Do us a favor. If you're on YouTube, go ahead, hit that like button, hit that thumbs up, give us a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel as well so you get all the updates. We'd love for you to do that. We'd love you to be part of our community. Even though you do follow us on LinkedIn or other platforms, choose the best platform that suits you and smash that subscribe button for us. We greatly appreciate it because as we get, I would say, larger in viewerships, we've got some special things we're going to throw out there to our subscribers, and we'll know when you subscribe because we get that list per month. So smash that subscribe button, smash that like, so we know who you are, and then so we can reach out and comment to you later. Another shout out. That's right. We got Jacqueline from Chile. So hey there, Jacqueline.
Now we're really
Chile.
making progress here.
So I love this. Again, so John, go ahead and let's get into it. I'm going to monitor the comments on the side. If I see jumping in, I'll jump in, throw some comments out. Ross has been dominating with fresh facts that we'll throw up we'll go across the screen. Don't worry about those, John. Just keep going as I throw some facts up, okay?
I'm steering now, huh?
Oh, yeah.
No, so I think that the most exciting one that we're going to actually kick off with for 2024 is going to be a pretty epic series, I think. So we're going to be kicking off with the history of Hawaii with a fresh produce lens. So we're going to be looking, as you probably would have guessed, the pineapple and the history of Hawaii leading up to that. So it's going to be, I'm thinking right now about 4 parts, could be 5 parts. I'm going to try to keep it at 4 parts, but it's going to be a 4-part series. That's probably going to span the month of January. We're really going to start from the moment that Captain Cook landed in Hawaii in 1700s, and we're going to really trace it all the way to today. Again, with the lens of fresh produce and the history. So that's going to be a very exciting episode. So definitely stay tuned for that one. What else do we have? We have
shout out to Cody Simpson. Welcome from Little Rock, Arkansas.
There we go. So what else do we have here coming? We have an episode on the Titanic.
Yeah, listen. If you guys are going to see a thumbnail, just think about John and Pat like Jack and Rose. Like it's gonna happen.
Am I holding,
just,
or am I...
just get ready. Like John, I'll never let go, my friend. I'll never let go unless it's a bad piece of produce and I'm letting go. Okay.
I think as long as I'm on the door floating, that's all right.
Oh, so you get the. You know what? I like doing cold plunges anyways. So fine. I mean, I get it, man. I totally get it.
But that one we're gonna have a special guest, expert on Titanic cuisine. So we're going to be focusing, I believe, on the last meal on the Titanic.
That's what I was going to say. Give them a little hint of how we know what that is.
How do we know?
I mean, how does this person know?
Oh, how does this person know? Well, they have access to the menus of the Titanic, the last meal, and the different classes. So first class, second class, third class, and what was on those menus. And it's a good reflection of that period and what produce tied to different classes. So obviously, different classes had more what we could say rare fruits and vegetables from that period, or higher class fruits and veg.
Right.
So it's a pretty neat again twist on history that I think we all are familiar with the Titanic history in general, but to look at it from the lens of produce will be I think a whole new experience for a lot of us. What else? We got Vikings, fresh produce and Vikings. We're gonna have an
I think that
expert.
one's going to be a fun one. I
That's
keep
gonna be a
thinking
fun
about
one.
the Vikings, like what they're going to do, like how did they go about it? Like I just figured they just ate meat.
Yeah,
Like
that's what
that's it.
everybody thinks. These big brawly men, just with their axes, chasing deer or whatever else they're going
Right,
for. But
right. That's what I think. Oh, I love it. I got ready. Tom Vitale. Oh, Canada, my faithful country. All right, I'll stop. I
see,
only know so
I
much of the
told people they'll
national
probably
anthem
be
before I'll get
singing.
yelled at.
I,
Okay, that was for you, Tom. That was 100% for you. Don't tell my dad.
uh, but yeah, so we have what else? So we have Vikings.
I love it. Look at
Um,
this comment.
oh yeah, Valhalla. See, this is a Viking expert right there.
And then we got ready. And then we got Maddie coming in with the Titanic. I think Titanic's going to be an amazing one.
That's gonna be
Like
a fun one.
that's one that that I look at is when you look at some of these, it's like, how do you know? Because when you watch, when you watch Jack and Rose on the Titanic, when you watch that episode and you clearly see the difference between classes, right? Like there's going to be 5-course meals all the way down. I mean, I would say there was no difference in today, but I don't think so, right? I think if you were to go on a cruise today, right, I think a lot of people
Oh,
get the
definitely.
same type of experience when they go to eat. It's all the buffet, right?
Yeah, no, that's true. The class breaks are not as visual today, at least in cuisine, on a cruise. That is, at least I'm
Right?
sure. Certain hotels will obviously cater to a specific class of people and have different. Think of like the kind of rarer foods, the more exotic things that only people can afford to pay $1,000 to eat or so. So I think that we just reached more extremes today versus maybe what was out there before.
All right.
What else we got? We got Mafia. We got
Oh,
Mafia.
Mafia is going to be a good one.
That's going to be
You
a
would
good
think,
one.
like, how does the Mafia relate?
Oh, big time with
Right? Like, that's what you might be thinking. Like, how does the Mafia relate to, like, the history of fresh produce, right? I know you're thinking that, right?
and
Just
we're
saying.
not going to give any secrets
Listen,
here,
I,
but
I love this. My phone's blowing up right now, and Jehoon didn't have the whatever you want to say this, and I wish he did. He goes, "You won't even go on a cruise. How do you know what they eat there?" My man G
it's true.
calling me out. I've never been on a cruise, nor will I go on a cruise, but I've got buddies that go on cruises, and they tell me what happens on these
Not
cruises.
any kind of cruise, not even a river cruise.
Oh gosh, yeah, I love it.
See,
I gotta
I
love it.
go on a river cruise. The ocean cruise, I'm a little more hesitant about. I like to see the land on either side of me.
Oh, I love that G just makes fun of me in text messages. June, you have full authority to make fun of me in live streams. I just want everybody to know that he's gonna do it. Just go ahead, June. Let loose, buddy. Let loose. I get you, but it's so true. I don't know what they have on cruises because I've never been. Okay, the closest I've been to a cruise, and you're gonna love this because it's history, is my best friend Jehoon got married on the Queen Mary.
Ooh.
Yeah, the most haunted ship in America, and we had his wedding and his
I did not know
reception
it was the
on there.
most haunted. That's interesting.
Right, so it was that was the closest I've been on a cruise, is it being docked.
Okay. That's fair. That's fair. Let's see. What else do we have?
Olympics.
Oh, the
Talk about the
Olympic series.
Olympic series.
That's going to be a big series. So that's going to probably be about, oh gosh, I think we said somewhere between 10 and 12 episodes.
Yeah.
It's going to span from the period that the Olympics is in 2024. So Paris is the host city this summer.
Yep.
So we are going to look at, I think the idea is to take the top 2 countries from each continent in terms of medals they've earned since the beginning of the Olympics, and highlight unique stories centered on those countries as it relates to their history and fresh produce. So that's going to be a fun series with lots of just unique stories for unique countries spanning the Olympics. So you can watch the Olympics and then say, "Hey, I know a little bit about that country."
True that.
Oh, Spain.
William Villanova,
No,
greetings from Spain.
now
Hello,
that's commitment.
sir.
That's 2:30 in the morning over there.
My
So I think
man.
props to
Hey,
that. I think that person has won. I think
that
William has won.
dedication. We might award a first time
I
badge
think so.
today. We
I
don't
think
know who
so.
it's gonna be, but Barbara Roos even connected on YouTube, and she had a great idea. I wish this comment was we could put this in the comments, but I can't. But if you're on YouTube, you could see this. I think we should reinvent the Titanic menus for 2024 at IFPA.
That'd be good.
Listen, there's a time.
Or
Listen, if we want to set up a history of fresh produce dinner one
I was just
night,
gonna say.
I have no problem putting that together.
Yeah.
And John and I would love to host a 3-course meal of what you would receive if you were in the lower deck.
We'll have it tiered price wise too. You know.
So if you want an apple and bread, no problem. It's about $30. You know.
Yeah.
all the way up.
I think
So
that's a fantastic idea.
that's a great idea, Barb.
Good,
That
Barb.
really great idea. I'm just going to post that just to get you on there. I love this idea. This is the kind of stuff we're talking about, right? Maddie seconds this. Patrick equals Kate. John equals Jack.
Good. See, I appreciate that.
How come? Listen, Kate's beautiful. I'll be Kate. Okay, listen.
Yeah, it's true.
I'm just saying.
I think it's because you have more hair than I do. That's why.
Okay. I mean, I was gonna go, but I'm pretty, but that's fine. I mean, I'll take.
Okay. Well, they're both pretty people. So.
They are. I'm not gonna lie. I'd be Leo too. Dang it, man! You got Leo.
Well, let's turn our attention before we go down that rabbit hole.
True. You got me on here.
We got the Arab Empire with a focus on Golden Age Baghdad. That's going to be a good one too.
Yep. What about? Can I go into fiction, John?
I know where you're going. Yeah.
Are we? Listen, if you're know
itching
me,
for this one.
I have like my favorite movies consist of they're what are they called? When there's 3 movies in a set, what's that called? Trilogy. I am a trilogy man, and in my top 5, there's 2 movies in my top 5, and the first one, all-time favorite, no one's ever going to change my mind. My top 5, but number 1 is The Lord of the Rings. I've always been a Lord of the Rings fan, and I even include The Hobbit as being involved in that, right? So when I say Lord of the Rings, like those 6 movies are like my top 1. And one of the fun things that John and I thought about was, how do we incorporate the fruits of Middle Earth? Because as you watch Frodo and you watch Frodo and Sam go through, and you watch Bilbo, they're eating the entire time. They're eating lambus bread. They're finding things, right? And we thought to ourselves, how fun would it be, as I'm like the biggest Lord of the Rings geek on this planet, that I'm like, I know this kind of stuff. I mean, even the orcs, right? Even the orcs, when they have nothing to eat, they're tired of it. They start even thinking about eating the humans, right? Just like what do we eat? I'm starving here, right? It's just so much fun to get into fiction, right?
Yep.
And talk about these fruits and vegetables. Heck, someone put potatoes, were the first produce or vegetable grown in space. Don't think we don't have a Star Wars episode coming either, people.
Yeah,
I'm just saying, because there are some fun fruits that we see on Disney that we can bring up and start talking about, okay?
Well, the thing with Lord of the Rings too is, so like you say, I mean, they obviously have the fruit in these movies, but so people might be wondering, well, like, what are we looking at in terms of history? Because it's a fictional history, Lord of the Rings. But what we're going to look at is through the lens of Tolkien, who wrote these books, and the period that he was writing in, and how those fruits got put into, or fruits and vegetables, I should say, put into the movies and referenced in the books, and how that's reflected for that period of time and such. So
that's
kind of the path that we're going.
I think I have. This is actually a Lord of the Rings orc right here,
There you
everyone. So I've got him. Okay, we've got, and I even, as crazy as it sounds, it's behind here, but I actually have the Witch King behind there too. So I've got a lot of Lord of the Rings stuff. It's again always one of my favorite. And then even like I said, one of my other favorites trilogies, which is now a quad, right? Was the Matrix. So
go.
and there's also, as we know, the fruits and vegetables in the Matrix as well.
That's true.
Are you really eating fruit, or is it in your mind? Just saying.
See, we're
Just saying.
touching on everything. We're going, I don't know, ancient history to
To fictional,
to yeah, pop
fictional
culture,
history, right?
fictional history. So it's we're running the whole gamut. Um, what else we have? We have founding fathers.
True that.
We're gonna do an episode on the founding.
Listen, I'm going to throw this out here because this is well deserved. Because I believe you deserve this, John.
Oh god.
Enjoy the show. You guys are naturals. Kudos, especially to John, and what a good-looking guy too. You know what? He is my Leonardo
Oh
DiCaprio.
god.
Leanne, I like your style already. Regardless if you're related to John or John's wife, I like you. Okay,
No, you can probably guess who that is.
I know exactly who it is, and I love it. Listen, let's see what we got. Just throw a couple of comments real quick, John.
Yeah.
Entertainment industry should use fresh produce placements as a public service. I could see blueberries and basically anything Frida sells in that trilogy. Oh, that's also interesting. I love it. It's another good one. Barb, you're getting on there on the top badge too. I'm just letting you know. I already
She's
put you in
thinking.
on the
She's
list too.
thinking.
She's doing good as well.
She's thinking.
I love that. Let's keep going, John.
What else we have? So I said founding fathers. And again, we're going to roll out these episodes, over the course of the first half of the year. We've kind of planned out that far. We're going to do the second half of the year a little bit later because we have a lot to digest here and a lot of, and like I touched on earlier, all this stuff we're reading, a lot of books, a lot of everything to really bring you the meat of the stories in these episodes. So it's a lot of digesting for us to create this.
I wish you would have had a produce joke in there, like all the meat to digest. I mean, come on. Well, come on.
Yeah,
Where's the produce joke?
a lot of
I'll let
potatoes
this
to
slide.
digest.
I'll let you slide. Ross, if you could put a potato or a dad produce joke in the comments, please do. We'll wait. We'll keep talking, but we will put it up as soon as we get it.
Oh, we forgot one that's coming up not too long from now. The seed to plate. So Native American.
Oh, that's right. Do you have the book close to you or no?
I don't actually.
Neither do I. It's totally fine. We've got the seed to plate. We just received the book in. We're going to read about it's old Indian recipes, right?
Yeah,
From Native Americans. So I said Indians. My bad. My fault. So Native Americans.
Yeah.
All the recipes from hundreds of years ago. And there was a book compiled of these Native American recipes that we are going to literally read and then try, and then we're going to interview the author.
Yes, yeah, we'll have her on, and we're going to delve into a little more of the indigenous peoples of America and their influence on fresh produce and kind of how that has translated into what we eat as Americans today. So that'll, I think, be a fun episode as well. What else? Did I forget anything? The French Revolution. That's listed here. So again, many people don't think about it, but there is a big connection between the French Revolution and specifically vegetarianism. So we're going to dive into that as well. I think those are kind of the key ones that are coming to my mind right now.
So listen, I'm going to tell you. So stay tuned. We've got a lot coming.
There's a lot more. Yeah,
we have live streams set up all the way through May at this point. So as you start to see more, you're going to get invites, but please, as we say, hit that subscribe button because then you'll be able to get more weekly, bi-weekly updates, depending on if you're part of the newsletter, if you're part of YouTube. It just depends on how you want to be contacted. We've got, again, email newsletters that come directly from LinkedIn, but then we also have email newsletters that come out directly from the Produce Industry Podcast. So there's numerous ways that you can stay in contact with us and really just find out more about the fresh history, the history of fresh produce.
Yeah, no, that was a good reminder. So we do have a bi-weekly newsletter that currently comes out via LinkedIn. We'll probably figure out a way to make that accessible on our website and through email going forward in the future. But definitely subscribe to that. There's extra content that comes through that complements what we're talking about in our episodes, or things that are just interesting that we've found. So definitely a great read if you enjoy the content that you're hearing on our episodes. Um, and actually, so what we talked in this past newsletter, which came out on Friday, we were talking a little bit about something that I think we'll dive into a little bit right now to kind of round this out, so people can get a little bit of a flavor of what we do on a normal live stream going forward potentially. And the story that we highlighted in this newsletter was about what we call, I think it was the fruit of the holidays.
That's right.
And a lot of people, they kind of have their own ideas of what fruit is for the holidays, but we wanted to see what is the most inclusive or through line fruit through the various religious holidays of December. So obviously we have Hanukkah, we have Christmas, and actually a holiday that we don't hear much about is a big Buddhist holiday called the Bodhi Day.
Ah,
That was on December 8th. And so all these holidays are big holidays for three big, obviously, religions in the world. And what we decided to do is look at, okay, well, what's a common theme between these religions in terms of fresh produce? And what we found, and I'm going to try to share something here. I'm going to start with um,
let's see it.
the Old Testament. So let me share this image here.
Bring it up on screen.
Bear with me. Here we go. So, Old Testament, right? We all know the story of Adam and Eve. So this is obviously from the Jewish faith, where it originated, and fig leaves, right, is what Adam and Eve were covering themselves with in the Garden of Eden. And so the fig leaves is actually a pretty what's the word I'm looking for? Repeating fruit in the Old Testament as well as actually the New Testament. It's a product that, or a produce item that keeps reappearing time and time again, and it represents rebirth, prosperity, things of that nature. But like I said, we also have in the New Testament, and if you see, I'm going to share another image here. This one, if I can find it. Here we go. Here it refers to, so this is Jesus that was cursing a fig tree that would not produce fruit. So again, I'm not going into the deep histories of these actual stories that we're touching on here, but you can see that the fig continues to make a reappearance through different religions. And finally, the Buddhist faith, which again, we talked about Bodhi Day. So Bodhi Day is on December 8th, and it celebrates the point that Buddha reached enlightenment. And that's obviously a very key component of Buddhism, reaching enlightenment. And the moment that Buddha reached enlightenment was under a fig tree. So you can see this prototype that keeps reappearing in different religions. But you might be asking yourself, why figs? Why figs? And figs, if you look at it, is present in all warm climates. Pretty much anywhere there's warm climate, there's figs. There's, I think, over 750 species of figs.
Wow.
So think about where these religions started, right? You have Judaism, you have Christianism, and you have Buddhism. All these religions started in warm temperate regions. So the Mediterranean, the Indus Valley. So that's, all
right,
warm areas where figs are going to naturally grow. And if you are going to promote religion and share stories that people can relate to, you're going to want to pick a product, a food that everybody can relate to, that people value, that people see every day, encounter every day, consume every day, because there's that immediate connection between what is being promoted as something to observe. So, if it's Judaism and they're, the religious edict is to observe that religion, you're going to have those cues. And so they would use different things, food included, to trigger those cues. So you can see the fig being carried through these various different religions. And so that's why we said that for this holiday season, the most celebratory or appropriate fruit to use during the holidays to represent all religions celebrating big holidays during this month would be the fig. So again, this gives you a little bit of a flavor of kind of the analysis that we do on the show, right? We didn't want to go into deep conversation or analysis today because we want to talk about other things. But these are the kinds of things that we plan to talk about on future live streams.
Yeah, I agree. I think that we don't give anybody too much more, but we definitely want to talk about it. We want to see if there's any questions out there. I say, John, we go to the Q&A to see if there's any questions out there. I'm going to go ahead and I got to pick one of Ross's, there we go. One of his dad jokes for produce. So knock, knock. Who's there? Lettuce who? Let us in and you'll find out. There you go. What else we got? Where did tomatoes go on a date? The salad bar. Listen, he can go all day. Why did the woman start crying when her boyfriend proposed? Because he gave her an onion ring. Ross has got some all day long. Looking at, some of the questions. Let's see if we can find some of the questions over here. One, we had Barbara reach out about possibly putting can we put something together for IFPA?
Yep.
Someone asked, I'm trying to go back up the whole screen here. If you have any questions, drop them in. Any questions about fresh produce? Any questions for John or myself? Here we go. So, John, you want to name this one? Tomato, vegetable, or fruit?
So both. So botanically, it's a fruit. And it actually was recognized as a fruit until it was I'll just say somewhere in the 1890s. I can't remember the exact date off of mine right now, but the Supreme Court actually got involved, and because of it, essentially due to duties that were placed on fruits and vegetables at that point, and essentially there was a disagreement on what tomato was classified as. It was being taxed, I believe, as the vegetable, and the importer was arguing, no, it's a fruit, and it went to the Supreme Court, and they basically ruled that because it's consumed as a vegetable, culinarily speaking, that they would classify it as a vegetable. So from that moment on, a tomato, in terms of culinary and consumption purposes, is a vegetable.
All right. Well, Ross has another question. Is a jalapeno hot? And the answer said no. It's actually a little chilly. Ross has questions all day. How did the mushroom clean the houses with a mush broom?
Mushroom.
You know what, Ross? Stop it. At this point, I love it, but stop. You're going to kill me here at this point. Let's see. Any other questions? It doesn't look like we have too many questions coming in. Here. Can we blame the mafia on lemons? Can you give a sneak about that?
Can we blame the mafia on lemons? I don't know. I mean,
stay tuned.
I will say there was some involvement of lemons and oranges with the mafia. So you're going down the right track.
Dustin said, "Forget about it. Forget about it." I get it. I mean, I see what we're doing here. Yeah. Listen, we appreciate everybody as we're getting ready to close. Our first live stream. Again, we appreciate everybody for joining. We're taking note on everybody who is joining, so that way, because in the future, as we said, we're gonna have badges that we're gonna put out. Our top commenters, our top viewers. we're going to give badges on, as countries come into play, like where you come from. So these are all fun things that we're going to start doing for this group. We're going to make it more interactive. We actually are going to have things as we start to do more. You'll be able to subscribe and log into some of our secret series as well, meaning that if you're a diehard follower of the series, we're going to have extra episodes for you. We're going to have content when we travel. You're going to get the first look at some of the places that we travel to, and just bringing it all together as top followers, top fans. And even if you're not going to follow them, if you're just going to watch this after the fact, you're still going to love the content, and you're still going to enjoy and be immersed in fresh produce history. Yeah. Oh, look at this. Ross already look at him. He's like top commenter. Top commenter. Oh, here's a great question. How often will y'all be on? That's a great question, Maddie. We're looking at once a month. Barb, great to see you. Thank you so much. She's bouncing out for dinner.
Enjoy.
We'll see you next time. Enjoy your dinner. Hopefully you have over 50% of your plate being fruits and vegetables. But how often will y'all be on? Right, John? I think our plan is once a month on a live stream. Yeah. And obviously once a month on the podcast that's going to come out on Tuesday.
At least once a month, but probably more than that.
As we grow, and we have more topics and more time, right? Then we'll come out with more episodes and more things for everyone to enjoy.
For January, you can expect probably every week, because we're going to roll out the Hawaii Epic series, which is going to be about a 4 to 5 part series. So
Tom said the Sicilian Mafia with the lemons. Ooh, people are getting onto this. We know. So Ross had another question. How did the gardener mend his trousers? With a vegetable patch.
Oh, geez.
I love it. You are amazing.
We used that one.
I take that was a corn comment. And you know what, Ross? That was corny, okay? That was a corny comment. Maddie says, I'm done with Ross. Haha, I can't. Story of my life, Maddie. This is what I deal with every day. Every day I've got this. Even though I crack up all day long, this is what I deal with on a daily basis. Okay, everyone? Well, John, you want to close us out, and then we'll let everybody go, and we appreciate everybody for coming on.
Yeah, no, thank you everybody for coming on, listening to our first live stream of what will hopefully be many. So long as we continue to be getting support that shows that people are listening and want more, then we will be here and bring more. So have a good evening. Stay tuned next Monday for the next episode on the politics of the potato. And we'll see you very soon.
Appreciate everyone. We'll see you soon. Thanks, John.
Thanks, Patrick. Night-night.